Assalamu alaikum. This is Shorup Mujumdar welcoming you all to the English news from BTV Chattogram. Let's begin with the headlines. Fund to be created to utilize confiscated money from fleeing money launderers for public welfare activities. Home Advisor retired Lieutenant General Mahmud Jahangir Alam Chaudhuri urges RMG factory owners to pay salaries and bonuses of current month before upcoming Eid al-Adha. Government can't make final decision regarding Mayor of Dhaka South City Corporation until legal complications resolved, says LGRD advisor Asif Mahmud Shojib Bhuiya. Zia Memorial Museum to be turned into full-fledged one, says Cultural Affairs Advisor Mustafa Sarwar Faruqi. Israeli military issues forced displacement order for Gaza's second-largest city, Khan Yunus, as its offensive kills more than 60 Palestinians across the Strip since dawn. And Bangladesh take on host United Arab Emirates in second T20 of three-match series at Sharjah Cricket Stadium. Those were the headlines. Now moving on to the details. A fund will be created to utilize the confiscated money from the fleeing money launderers for public welfare activities. It was announced at a discussion meeting regarding the measures taken and progress made in the recovery of funds embezzled abroad at the State Guest House, Jamuna today. Chief Advisor Professor Mahmud Yunus presided over the meeting. It was stated that at the meeting that this fund should be established in accordance with the proper provisions of the law. If necessary, the law will be amended. Among others, the meeting was attended by Finance Advisor Dr. Saleuddin Ahmed, Special Envoy on International Affairs to the Chief Advisor Lutfi Siddiqui, Special Assistant Dr. Anisuzzaman Chaudhuri, Bangladesh Bank Governor Ahsan H. Mansoor, Principal Secretary to the Chief Advisor Shirajuddin Mia, and Attorney General Asaduzzaman. Later, Bangladesh Bank Governor Ahsan H. Mansoor and the Press Secretary of the Chief Advisor Shafiqul Alam briefed the journalists at the Foreign Service Academy to provide details of the meeting. The Governor of Bangladesh Bank said the money seized, which was taken from the bank through corruption, will be returned to the bank, and the non-banking money will be used for the welfare of the general public.
আমাদের হাতে কিছু অর্থ জব্দ করা আছে, যেটা বিভিন্ন ব্যাংকে এই যারা পলাতক আছেন বা যাদের নামে বিভিন্ন রকমের অর্থ আত্মসাৎ এবং পাচারের মামলা আছে, তাদের ডিপোজিট করা অর্থ সেগুলোকে আমরা জব্দ করা আছে। সেগুলোর ব্যবহার কিভাবে হবে সেটা নিয়ে আলোচনা হয়েছে। আবার আমাদের হাতে বেশ বড় আকারের শেয়ার আছে, বিভিন্ন ব্যাংকের শেয়ার, বিভিন্ন কোম্পানির শেয়ার, যেগুলো যারা পালিয়ে গেছেন তাদের শেয়ার, সেগুলোকে জব্দ করা আছে। এগুলোকে কিভাবে আমরা জনহিতকর কার্যে ডিপোজিটরদেরকে আবার ব্যাংকগুলোকে ক্ষতিপূরণ দিয়ে ডিপোজিটরের স্বার্থ রক্ষা করা যায়, সেই ব্যাপারে এক ফান্ড গঠন করে এই ফান্ডগুলোকে বা এই শেয়ারের যে লব্ধ অর্থ সেগুলোকে সেখানে ট্রান্সফার করে আমরা কিভাবে সেটাকে ম্যানেজ করব সে বিষয়ে আলোচনা হয়েছে। নগদের ব্যাপারে আমাদের পজিশন সুস্পষ্ট, যে নগদের যারা অরিজিনাল ম্যানেজমেন্ট ছিল এবং বোর্ড ছিলেন তারা ম্যালফেশিয়াস অর্থাৎ দুর্নীতি এবং এটার মাধ্যমে টাকা আত্মসাৎ করেছে, যার পরিমাণ আমরা জানি যে 650 কোটি টাকা মতো মানি ক্রিয়েট করেছে, যেটার এগেনস্টে প্রকৃত অর্থ ছিল না। দ্বিতীয়ত, তারা আমাদের যে সরকারের যে দারিদ্র্য বিমোচন কর্মসূচির অধীনে যে ধরনের অর্থ ট্রান্সফার করা হতো, নগদের মাধ্যমেই করা হতো শুধু, সেইখানে তারা প্রায় 2000 কোটি টাকার উপর তারা সেখানে আত্মসাৎ করেছে। তো আমরা মনে করি যে আমরা তাদের হাতে কোনো মতেই এই এই নগদের কার্যক্রম আবার ফেরত যাওয়াটা উচিত নয়।
Chief Advisor's press secretary presented a summary of the information provided by the Bangladesh Bank during the briefing.
আজকের মিটিং এ কিন্তু একটা ফিগার এসে সোফার যে অ্যাটাচমেন্ট হয়েছে স্থাবর সম্পত্তি সেটার পরিমাণ হচ্ছে 1,30,758.7 করোড় টাকা, আর অস্থাবর সম্পত্তি যেটা ফ্রিজিং হয়েছে 42,614.27 কোটি টাকা।
Home Advisor retired Lieutenant General Mohammad Jahangir Alam Chaudhry urged the owners of the RMG factories to pay the salaries and bonuses of government workers for the current month before the upcoming Eid al-Adha. He made the call today while briefing the journalists following a meeting at the Secretariat reviewing the overall law and order situation in the country ahead of Eid al-Adha. Special Assistant to the Chief Advisor, Mohammad Khobor Chaudhry, senior officials of the Home Ministry and chiefs of various law enforcement agencies attended the meeting. The Home Advisor said instructions were given to ensure payment of wages and allowances to RMG workers before Eid, to grant them holidays and to take necessary steps to keep roads and highways free from traffic congestion. The Home Advisor emphasized that no sacrificial animal markets will be allowed to set up in a way that blocks roads and highways. Regarding the arrest of actress Nusrat Faria at the airport, the advisor said there is a policy concerning travel bans and those falling under this policy are subject to such actions. He, however, mentioned law enforcement agencies have been directed to ensure no one suffers unnecessarily, and efforts will be made to ensure that only the actual perpetrators of the July-August genocide are arrested. After examination, the NID wing has identified over 500 duplicate NID users. For these individuals, the first national identity card has been retained, while the second has been cancelled today at the Election Commission office in Agargaon in the capital. The Director General of the National Identity Registration Department, ASM Humayun Kabir, told reporters that the voter information of the Election Commission was now securely stored in a complete data center. The Director General of the National Identity Registration Division said those who have two NIDs have had the second one cancelled while retaining the first. He also said there is currently no one with two NIDs. SM Humayun Kabir mentioned that the expatriate voter registration process would be launched in 12 more countries in the next 7 months. Supporters of BNP leader Ishraq Hussain have been protesting for the 5th consecutive day, demanding that he be officially handed over the charge as the mayor of Dhaka South City Corporation. The increasing crowd of protesters in front of the Nagar Bhavan is disrupting vehicular movement in the areas. Meanwhile, LGRD advisor Asif Mahmud said the government cannot make a final decision regarding the mayor of Dhaka South City Corporation until the legal complications are resolved. Cultural Affairs Advisor Mustafa Sarwar Farooqi has announced that Zia Memorial Museum will be transformed into a full-fledged one. The cultural advisor said this at a press conference at City's Circuit House today. Secretary to the Ministry of Cultural Affairs Muhammad Mufidur Rahman and Deputy Commissioner Farida Khanum were present. Farooqi said various initiatives are being taken for the Zia Museum, which remained closed for the last 16 years. Talking to the journalists after visiting the museum, the advisor highlighted the government's focus on cultural activities. Highlighting the heritage of Chattogram, cultural advisor Mustafa Sarwar Farooqi mentioned that Jabbarer Boli Khela is a significant part of the country's culture. From next year, the Ministry of Culture will be associated with Jabbarer Boli Khela and Sampan Baich, which is the most glorious symbol of Chattogram heritage. Later, the advisor exchanged views at city's Muslim Institute. A program on Sampan Baich at Charlakha in Kornfulu Upazila and a discussion meeting at Jila Shilpakola Academy. Now, international news. Israeli military has issued forced displacement order for Gaza's second-largest city, Khan Yunus, as its offensive escalates. Israel carried out at least 30 airstrikes within an hour in the area, killing more than 60 Palestinians across Gaza since dawn. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office said it will allow a limited amount of aid into Gaza, but it's not clear when the supplies will enter the enclave. Israel bombed Nasser Hospital in Khan Yunus again as it expands its ground offensive in southern Gaza, killing at least 6 Palestinians in the southern city. Gaza's health ministry said Israel's attack on Gaza has killed at least 53,339 Palestinians and wounded 1,21,034. A statement from former U.S. President Biden's office said he has been diagnosed with prostate cancer that has spread to his bones. 82-year-old Biden, who left office in January, was diagnosed on Friday after he had seen a doctor last week for urinary symptoms. The cancer is a more aggressive form of the disease, characterized by a Gleason score of 9 out of 10. This means his illness is classified as high-grade and the cancer cells could spread quickly. Biden and his family are set to be reviewing treatment options. His office added that the cancer was hormone-sensitive, meaning it could likely be managed. Meanwhile, President Donald Trump wrote on his social media platform Truth Social that he and his First Lady, Melania Trump, were saddened to hear about Joe Biden's recent medical diagnosis. Ahead of the fifth round of talks, Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi said on Sunday that Iran's enrichment program would continue with or without a deal with the United States, referring to ongoing indirect nuclear negotiations mediated by Oman. The lead Iranian nuclear negotiator said in a statement posted on X, if the U.S. wants to ensure Iran does not acquire nuclear weapons, a deal is within reach. He said Iran is ready for a serious conversation to achieve a solution that will forever ensure that outcome. Enrichment in Iran, however, will continue with or without a deal. Araghchi's statement came just hours after Steve Witkoff, the U.S. Special Envoy for West Asia, who is leading the American side in negotiations with Iran, said any deal between the two sides must include an agreement not to enrich uranium. In response, Araghchi said Iran's stance on its rights as a nuclear non-proliferation or NPT treaty member is crystal clear, adding that Iran will not allow deviance from that.